I miss alcohol. I miss coffee. I miss black tea. I miss soccer. I miss my friendships. I miss my husband. I miss running errands without fatiguing in minutes. I miss being able to bend over without stabbing pains. I miss being able to hug my child or get in the car. I miss me. Hi, I'm Carly, and I have long COVID. I'm here to tell my story to help at least one person get answers in their chronic illness journey. My goal is to be a resource in the chronically ill community. Ever wondered about the mind-body debate? What is actually the cause of ADHD, autism, depression, hardware of a biological condition, our genes, our bad luck, my bad moods, or executive dysfunction influenced by environment, my choices, or ultimately my mistakes? Well, I'm not here to answer that monster of a question. Nope, I'm here to complicate it further. Yeah, I'm gonna make it even muddier. I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you how the integration of psychological care and medical treatment is not only necessary, but vital to survive in a post-COVID world. We need both models of treatment now more than ever to catch the free-falling sufferers of complex chronic illness. What the hell is a post-COVID world? More on that later. Shout out to all my ME CFS sufferers as well, who were definitely a part of the ship that even got us here. So we do have a massively growing population at this time who are not all self-identifying yet. Don't know who they are necessarily, so that's why I'm here. I'm going to list my symptoms in order of appearance. It's May 2021. I've just opened my private practice and begun taking on supervisees. My neck of the woods is pretty bright in spite of the pandemic. Thanks, privilege. Yeah, so I'm gonna start reading this list. Right. Anyway, it began with a bang. Gross bang. It started with a bowel obstruction, unretractable constipation, severe back pain, pain during and after sexual activity, severe pelvic burning, severe urethra burning. How often do you find yourself thinking about your urethra? Severe gastrointestinal pain, strange episodes of rage, mood swings that felt like physical fire. Never felt like that before. Coffee begins to make me vomit. Painful periods, lightning pains in the butt. Yep, not my fave. Migraines, alternating loose stools with also, again, that impossible constipation that we were talking about. Alcohol makes the pain ratchet up to a 10. Gotta cut that out. Intense neurological and cognitive reactions to foods and medications, none of which make sense to anyone unless they know what they're looking at. You look real cool when you don't actually have the allergy to the thing, but you can't take the thing that they're trying to give you because you have some weird brain fog and you're just gonna check out of reality for a while. So please don't give me the thing. Slowed thinking, forgetting things, losing simple words, slow thinking. The inner dialogue that I had known throughout my entire life doesn't exist. Inability to perform cognitive sequential steps, depersonalization, derealization, vision changes, hearing difficulty, debilitating fatigue after things like showering or speaking, mostly to strangers. Could be anyone, my husband, my kid, people I love and enjoy. The social interaction has become poisonous, so I still needed it. Tachycardia, pre-syncope, blood pooling in my feet, inability to eat without tachycardia, no longer feel hunger or thirst, losing weight without trying, inability to hold eye contact due to said debilitating fatigue, dizziness. My head feels too heavy to hold upright. We're called bobbleheads. Always cold, but also unable to tolerate heat without flushing. Like one of my most high maintenance plants. Keep me in the 70 to 75 window, please. Thanks. Weak legs. No longer able to play soccer due to muscle weakness and fall risk. It was so gradual that it just looked like I had started to suck. Running stopped 4 months later due to getting ill after runs. High blood pressure, numbness and tingling in my limbs, alternating hypersomnia with insomnia, with like a safari adventure in mental health. Cannot look at a screen. Like for real, no inner dialogue. Adrenaline rushes at night, chest pain, sharp ass chest pain, air hunger, dysphoria, and low mood. This list is too long, too long. If you made it this far, wow. You sped me up to get on with it, wow. I wouldn't have sat through it either. In spite of escalating symptoms, the gradual decline while I was suffering almost every moment of every single day, losing my ability to work, losing my sense of humanity due to experiencing misery every waking moment of the day, providers were plain old stumped. Why would all of your imaging and lab numbers speak so beautifully of your health and vitality while you sit here in my office with those weird wet eyes, failing on keeping the promise to yourself to not cry this time? The comments that I have received that, sharply stand out, of course. Ma'am, have you considered that you're nearing 40 now? Maybe you're noticing it more because you're looking for it. Maybe don't do things that make your feet numb. Maybe speak with your psych professional about that. That version and lots of different ways. Like, that was all the time. Your pulse ox is 100%, so you're breathing fine to me. What do you mean it feels like you can't breathe? I'm not really sure you gave biofeedback enough of a try. Unclear what cognitive symptoms a patient is experiencing. I don't know what cognitive symptoms are clear to see. They're invisible. There's a version of me that can stay articulate even when I don't function the way that I used to. What am I doing? I'm getting bitter. That doesn't help you. You're just depressed and exhausted. Well, yeah. That's motherhood. Didn't know. Your moaning is disturbing everyone here. This is a public space. Sorry, I can't get past that one. Because it was an ER. You ran 4 miles and then you got sick? Then don't run 4 miles. You're doing better than most people. Do you want a muscle relaxer or a referral? Physical therapy? Yeah, I'll send you to a physical therapy. You were 240 pounds at 5'3"? You must have been a square. That one is both horrible and kind of funny. That doctor did actually believe and hear my pain and get me to treatment. We're gonna mixed bag. Also heard helpful comments. You do not seem like yourself, not the Carly that I met 2 years ago. It's strange though, isn't it? This all started after a bowel obstruction, after COVID? You were fine before? I bet you feel like this is your fault. And me, after sobbing out, yes. He said there was nothing you could have done. You needed treatment. Are you okay? Are you in pain now? If you get this test and you still don't get answers, please don't stop. Keep going. You are an impressive woman. You knew what was wrong with you. That last one was Dr. Redfield, my long COVID specialist. He was speaking regarding my confirmed diagnosis of Thurner Syndrome. I self-referred to vascular medicine for that one. Minimally invasive tests that took me 3.5 years to identify and obtain. My poor body was finally heard. It was seen. It was understood. Everything collapsed into this aha moment of course you're having all of these symptoms. My left iliac vein was 93% compressed. And that, out of 100%, that's in the severe category. My vascular surgeon, I won the prize that day for the highest, but anyway. Likely had the compression for life, but it wasn't until long COVID that it mattered like this much. I was infected with COVID the first week of December of 2020, thanks to my frontline healthcare worker husband, who is an inpatient psychologist on a psych unit, works with the severely mentally ill, where germs are present and sometimes germs are spat out. 3 weeks later, he and I received the vaccine. So the deets on the connection from COVID to Thurner, to spoil the ending, I had severe endometriosis that needed to be glommed out of that pelvis of mine. More spoilage, my symptoms led providers to another red herring. The effects of a gunshot wound decades ago. Yes, I was a confusing patient, but the through line in the care that I received, I was often treated as a burden. I was dismissed, I was passed off, I was isolated, and I was relegated to psychiatric care in almost every single appointment. It's hard to extract psychological needs from treatment, considering how I was the most vulnerable I'd been in life. I was losing everything I held dear, and no one knew what was wrong with me. Some didn't even believe that I was sick, or that I was sick in a way that was entirely out of my control. I felt blamed, ignored, belittled throughout this journey And I know I'm not alone. What I learned and how I kept going. I want to help anyone who's out there in the dark waiting for hope. Anyone who has given up on the medical system, their communities, or themselves. If you are tired, bitter, angry, cynical, or just dizzy, this channel is for you. I'm never going to tell you to do better, to work harder, or to suffer better your way into health. Not going to do that. I'm going to remind you of two things. You are your best resource. Yes, even when you can't get up, think, or function, you are still the most important resource you have. There is a part of you that's untouched by illness and won't be destroyed by grief or loss or even isolation. Secondly, hope is a verb. It's about cycles and action. You will feel the cycles of grief, of loss, joy, and hope. There's comfort in knowing that process and how it shows up in you, what the ways you behave, the ways you speak, how it affects your symptoms. There's comfort in knowing the process and the words so that you can get back to hope again. This time, knowing how to find yourself again. Take care of you, and thanks for being alive.